Life Audio.
Today on Talk About That, John doesn't have time to kayak and doesn't sell his soul because he got no offers. Meanwhile, I perform feats of strength at a show and tell the history of the plastic car made of soybeans. Plus a conversation about the pursuit of happiness and why it makes so many of us miserable. Today's episode is not sponsored by LED light bulbs. We last 12 years, give or take 10 to 12 years.
Jonnie, I think we should get in the boat, go down the river to Bantertown. Let's talk about that. You don't like boats, do you? A little too soon, you just got off a ship and there was a tsunami scare. And
I don't mind a boat.
Engines
Isn't the
exploded.
whole thing of like, you don't want a boat, you just need a friend with a boat? You're the friend with a pool now.
Yeah.
But I don't really use your pool.
No. You came over on
I did come over on July
4th, was it?
And
your wife saved all my trees.
And got stung by a wasp and her arm swelled up.
Yeah.
She went into anaphylaxis at your house.
Yeah, sorry about
No,
that.
she didn't go into anaphylaxis, but it was anaphylaxis there? Anyway.
I saw Bob Phylaxis.
Yeah, he was there. No, man, that was fun. But yeah, the owning a boat seems like a pain to me. But having a friend with a boat,
I feel
but you have to have that friend that's not going to be like annoyed that you want to go out on its boat. He wants to be like, you're coming out on the boat, right?
Yeah, man, the boat's yours until you want it. I feel weird not having a boat and being so close to the lake. We never go out on the lake.
Oh, I didn't realize how close you were to the lake.
I'm a mile.
Oh, okay.
I run past the lake.
Wow.
And
And no boat.
I don't even have a kayak, a canoe,
Right. You should have something.
swimming
some kind
trunks.
of
I have nothing.
watercraft. Speedo.
I don't.
Inner tube.
I want to go out there and kayak.
Get you a kayak. You and Sadie could do that together.
I've dreamt about it,
Oh.
but then
Like fantasized, or literally you dream about it at night?
no, like it's been a good thought.
Oh, okay.
But no, I've had a thought about. If I'd really, literally dreamt about it, I'd probably be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
I just dreamed.
Like a yeah.
We were out there in the water.
Next thing you know, we're gone.
But it's just the time, Jonnie. I don't know if you know about this, but time is difficult now.
Yeah, but you got to make time for things that matter, John, like kayaking.
That's what everybody says. But I find
Mm-hmm.
even important things are hard to make time for. I love the aphorism. I think that's great.
Yeah.
The adage,
Mm-hmm.
the axiom,
The colloquialism.
all of it. But in real life, for
Oh,
those
boy.
of us,
You're minimizing people who do take time to go kayaking. You'd be like, you don't have the busy life that I
Yeah,
have.
you
That's
guys
your
are just
problem.
not
I'm out
worried.
here getting stuff done.
you're not worried enough about your kid. You're not obviously not playing youth sports.
I think maybe they're more worried and they're like, we need some kayak time.
Yeah.
Work things
You ever
out.
done a,
Get your kid in a kayak and have some deep, meaningful discussion about life. What's better than that?
yeah.
That's what you're missing.
Like, row on the other side. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, like a real.
Wrong, genius. Whatever, that kind of a thing. Be fine.
Have you ever,
I'd be a great
have you ever
dad.
done a paddleboard?
No, stand up?
Yeah.
No, it looks awful. It
I've
looks
done
like
it. It's fun.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, if you can do it.
Anybody can do it. It's not like you're surfing.
But
or
getting
anything.
up on it is hard, right?
No.
Oh, no?
I mean, maybe for you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
No, it's not. It's fine.
What if you're 200 plus pounds? Would it?
I don't think it
does
matters.
Sink? It does matter.
I don't know if you know this, but like big, heavy boats are buoyant and still float. It doesn't matter. It's still just water.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem getting up off the ground right now?
No.
Well, then you should be able to get up off a board because you're going to sit down.
I mean,
and
I'm not
stand.
on the ground right now.
Well, I don't mean literally.
I was on the ground last night. I was brushing my dog out because we have this new vacuum that grooms the dog. It's like a
Suck
it's
cut.
a suck cut, but it's not a cut. It's like it's got the brush, and you brush the dog with the thing, and then when you get done, the brush is all full, and you hit one button, it goes, and it sucks
Wow.
it closes the bristles and sucks the hair in. It's kind of a fun little effect. And Daisy does not like it, but she needs to be brushed like that 12 times a day, and there still would not be enough.
Yeah.
There still would be hair everywhere, in our food, in our bloodstream. It's everywhere. But she didn't like it. But then I realized I'm on the hardwood floor now, and I've gotten down here to do this, and now I have to get up. And it is a thing. And I was barefoot, so you're kind of like trying not to get your foot bones are cracking as you try to pivot and do it.
You know, the whole thing about like your health is, can you go from a seated to a standing position without using your hands?
That's
That's
like
one of the
those
tests.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Laura and I tried
Without
that the
using
other
your
day.
hands.
I could do it.
Like a spring up like a ninja?
No.
Oh.
Just like find a way find a way to get up off the floor without using your hands. I think you should try it right now.
Can you use elbows?
No arms, no hands. Just your legs and your balance, your dexterity.
I think I would do it for 10 minutes and I'd be like, I'm just going to die here. I think this is where
it's like a turtle.
It ends.
Turned on his back on his shell.
I'm just waiting for somebody to pass by.
Well, if you could I find it's not that hard if you can just get up on your knees and then you can get it from there.
Have you ever heard the Southern aphorism, Fencepost turtle?
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
It means that if you see a turtle on a fence post, he didn't get there alone.
Yeah, I think to me, it's always meant like if you see somebody and you say, well, they're just a fence post turtle, it's almost like they're in a situation that either it's not their fault, for better or for worse. Like they got handed something.
Yeah.
They've been put up on a fence post. Like maybe they inherited money. That's a fence post turtle and they don't know what to do with it. Or like they're in a situation that, for worse, they did not have anything to do with, and they're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, but let's stop.
That's a great Southern saying, by the way. I love it.
But imagine
you don't hear
turtle.
it enough.
Like, what do you do now? Like, okay, we're talking about how you got there.
Yeah.
But there's nothing good about this for you moving forward.
No.
It's that whole, like, you've been given something.
You're king of the fence post.
It's like, dude, but he's a turtle. He can't, guys, this is just like our lives. Sometimes the place you really want to go, you can't get there. But if you ever got there, you couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, you'd realize it's not everything you wanted it to be.
Yeah, you're just a turtle on a fence post.
You're just a fence post turtle.
Yeah, that's their show.
There's got to be a rock band called Fencepost Turtle. We'll Google it after. Somebody's Googling it right now and being like, there's 5 Fencepost Turtles. I told my story, by the way. Where did I tell it? Somewhere I told the story of our band names.
Oh, wow.
And somebody did. Oh, it was on the Zach Williams cruise. Because I had, there was one of the times where you have like 10 minutes before, I had to do 10 minutes before he would do concerts 3 times on the boat. And one of the nights was he was going to do an album listen, like the first people to ever hear his record were on his new record were on that boat. And so he's getting ready to come out and just sit in a chair and listen through the songs and tell about the history of the songs. So it's kind of a cool thing for fans.
He wasn't going to play it.
No. Just play the record tracks. Yeah. And then there's like video that he had built behind it, like little, screens and stuff that kind of illustrated the principles of the songs more. But so it was kind of a cool immersive thing, but more of a behind the scenes thing and less energetic than a concert. But they had me come out and do, and so for whatever reason, I just started saying, I like Zach a lot. I said, Christian music has changed a lot. I said, first of all, these guys are getting bigger. Zach Williams is 6'6", by the way.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, I was in a Christian band, and these guys were all, you could put them right in your pocket. I told you could put them right in your pocket. They're all John Foreman sized,
Right.
Switchfoot. They're all tiny California people. Now Zach Williams comes out. He's from Arkansas. He's just like, he's looking down at me.
Yeah, it's like a linebacker.
Yeah, he's like, I'll eat you.
Yeah.
He did play college basketball. I didn't know that. But anyway. So all that said, I was telling the story, and I said, I really wasn't a Christian man. And I told the whole thing about we had to change our name all these times because we were Googling our name. So this was the early days. We had to ask Jeeves. We found 8 other 11th hours for a total of 88 hours or whatever. And then just did the whole thing.
Right.
Then we got up furious and we changed our name to Amy Grant. But that was already taken too. And so the band, we went to dinner and some of the band guys were like, that was so funny. And they were like, I go, that's true. They go, what? They couldn't believe it. I go, yeah, that's all.
Except the Amy Grant part.
That's like the Amy Grant part. But just the fact that all the name changes in the early days of the internet, but Googling. But so anyway, someone's Googling right now is what I was going to say and finding Fencepost Turtle, the band. Or they're starting a band.
When we just gave them the creative impetus.
In a way, they are a Fencepost Turtle because they would not be there without us.
Yeah. And now they can't go anywhere.
Because the band's no good.
Right. They're not even really a musician, probably.
No.
That's one of my favorite. I was thinking about the other day about that. I just thought about like selling your soul to the devil and that SNL skit. Was it Garth Brooks?
Yeah, Garth Brooks said, if I just give me one hit song and I'll sell my soul. And then the devil shows up in a cloud of smoke and they shake hands and it burns his hand.
Yeah.
And then the devil goes, now, forsaken soul, slake thy thirst on the songs that will bring the rivers to boil. And he starts playing this horrible, cheesy. And then Garth Brooks like, ugh, that sucks or whatever. And then he goes, well, give me a minute. I'm just going to, give me a minute. You got to go. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. He starts trying one more. He has like 8 songs. They're all awful.
Horrible.
Then Garth is like, I'm just going to try on my own. That's one of my favorite SNL sketches ever. It's very underrated.
What was the one where it was like, I'll make you a star. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. There's a comedian that does a bit about that. What is his name? I can't remember his name, but he has a bit about, I met the devil at the crossroads and said, if you'll teach me to play guitar, I'll give you my soul. So he shakes his hand, and then he goes, I'll see you every Monday for the next 6 months. He goes, what? You don't just, he goes, no, man, guitar's hard. You got to take lessons.
Yeah, I had that thought of like, if you're going to sell your soul, like nowadays, do you put it on like Facebook Marketplace? Like, who actually would even bid on my soul? Like,
John, I don't think you're in any danger, buddy.
No one's like,
no one wants your soul.
I tried to sell it, couldn't get any takers.
Can't get any offers on this
For sale by owner.
John, you know what is for sale?
What's that? Lots of things.
Fine products. And we just want to say thanks to a few of our fine sponsors, and let's take a minute and hear from a few of them.
The other day, my daughter, we see a sign that says for sale by owner.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, who else would be selling it but the owner? It was so funny.
Yeah.
We're like, well, that's a thing. That means,
yeah,
yes,
you
it's
didn't
your
use
house.
An agent. Yeah.
It was very, very funny, though, to hear her try to put that into the logical confines
no, it does make
of
sense.
Her teenage mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I have this bit now about, it just came out. It's about seeing a sign that says cabinets to go. And that's a real business in rural Georgia or somewhere. And I said, if you're buying cabinets and they're not to go, you have rented a storage locker. And, but it's funny, the comments have been a lot of people pointing out other businesses. One of them, like today, somebody said there's a sign that says used cows for sale. This is such a funny, like, as opposed to brand new cows, used cows. But it is funny, like people, you see these signs and you go like, who's coming up with this? But yeah, for sale by owner. To be like, that doesn't make any sense, but she just doesn't have all the information to know that, like, this is a homeowner that's trying to subvert the system and not pay a realtor. Honey, you've got a lot to learn.
Let me tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, John, I think it's about that time.
Oh, is it?
It's my quote of the week, a segment we call They Talked About That.
Don't know about that last note. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't change a thing.
We'll fix it in
post.
post.
It's got that Nashville sound.
Yeah. I'm in a new band called Fencepost Turtle.
Maybe you heard of us. Eric Hoffer, born 1898.
Yeah.
An American moral and social philosopher. Okay.
Sure.
Really interesting. He analyzed the psychology of mass movements and fanaticism.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. He said this: the search for happiness is one of the chief sources of unhappiness.
Huh.
The search for happiness is one of the chief sources of unhappiness. That really speaks to me. I think like there's this side like quest. Like, what is the quest of life?
Mm-hmm.
We were having a meeting yesterday about church, and we were like, you used to be from a Pentecostal denomination. I've spoken in like liturgical churches, and I feel like a man with no country in some ways. But like worship or responsiveness or those kinds of things, I was like, guys, what do we really want?
Right.
Like, what's the quest here? Do we even want to pay attention to the responses of people? Because I've done that to the wrong side before.
Yeah.
Or do we not care at all? To the point that we can't identify something good happening or whatever because they're not singing out loud or clapping their hands or whatever your thing is. And they were like, well, that's a really interesting question. Like, instead of us trying to get them to do something different, do we even know what it is we really would want? And I think that's a similar question here. Like, if happiness is your goal,
mm-hmm.
I think you're unhappy almost all the time. And I think that is, as much as I could rail against that, I really identify with that.
Yeah, and I think it's been ingrained in us too. Like that's a very, I don't want to say it's a very American thing. It almost sounds like I'm one of those blame America first people, but it really is written into our founding documents, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But then we've done research on that before where like the original line was life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. Yeah. Which is really dark when you think that like there was a time when people were property. Yeah. So it's like, there's some darkness there already, just built into it. But then even if you just say, okay, it's going to be life, liberty, pursuit of happiness as whatever this weird, ethereal, imaginary thing, whatever you think it might be. And then we just teach kids to go chase that feeling or whatever it is. I think the the real thing is purpose. Like when I think about when I'm feeling my best, it's not like a day. We've talked about that before. Like I think Margaret Thatcher said that when you think about your best day, when you're old, you won't necessarily think of a day that you spent doing nothing. You'll think of a day when you had a lot to do and you got it done. I think there's a thing. The reason I like my job is when I wake up, I go, I have to go tell these jokes in Chattanooga on Thursday.
Yeah.
And you feel needed. You go, I'm providing a service that's needed in the world and I'm going to go do it. It might be a dumb thing, but it's a gift that I've been given. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
So it's like a reason to get up. Whereas if I just go, I bet Chattanooga will make me happy. Well, what does that even mean? Yeah,
you can't. It's an undefinable. My grandfather, who was a preacher for 70 years, he used to say that, and we would kind of laugh at him a little bit when he would say it. Like, what is happy? Like, what is that? And it sounded like he was railing against happiness. So when you're a kid, you're like, I know what happiness is. And now I'm like, no, he was pretty right to ask that question. I just thought he was trying to say, be sad. Right. That's not what he's saying. I think that, something with, as a parent that we talk about, is like, we don't want Sadie to always be happy. Mm-hmm. We want Sadie to...
Well, you're nailing it, by the way.
Well, let me tell you. She loves having me as her dad. We want Sadie to understand the appropriate emotion for the situation.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be happiness.
Right.
And I think that if you think the appropriate emotion for all situations is supposed to be happiness, then when you're corrected and it doesn't feel good and you don't realize, the appropriate emotion here is humility or patience or tension. I mean, these are not all emotions, but I'm saying like there's a response here. I got to go through this, or I get news about someone passing, right? That I don't have to be like, this is the only thing in the world because it disrupts happiness. And I can't even conceptualize the fact that everybody's going to die. Everyone before me already has. And like, it's not, we act like it's surprising every time. And I'm not belittling it, but I think the modern culture is saying, like, kind of look the other way. Death's not really happening kind of thing.
Yeah.
That we're all raised with. What it does is it disrupts whatever we thought happiness was. And then it feels unjust, or it feels like something we can't get through. And we take no solace in the fact that millions and billions of other people have gotten through it.
Yeah.
We just think, well, now this is the end of happiness. And again, not belittling. If we lose somebody close to us and all, or lose a child, I'm not speaking as if we should just be okay with that. But I'm saying I think that we're less prepared in the modern age for things that we don't consider to be happiness as if they're wrong.
Yeah, or like we talked about it before about how like a generation is being raised to kind of believe that like if you're not doing your dream job, then everything else is just like a side hustle on the way to that, and you're going to be miserable until you step into that destiny. So you're not, in other words, like even when I was doing jobs before I just fell into comedy, like I never would have been like employee of the month at my Home Depot job as a cashier.
Yeah.
Because I was miserable there. But like you should be able to be good at something and put your all into something, even if it doesn't feel like your end all be all. This is my dream.
Yeah.
And I think that there's part of that it's like we're losing a piece of ourselves when we only chase pleasure or happiness or whatever, some view of like, I bet you somebody's out there and doing their thing and I'm missing out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is the real thing. And truly, you can only look back and say like, we were really happy then. I wonder if we ever even knew it.
Yeah.
It's almost like something you have to look back on and go, oh yeah, we were really, I think about the early days of my marriage. We were so broke. When I proposed to Curry, we were both working minimum wage jobs. And then I took a second job. I was working 2 jobs and we got married. We lived in an apartment. I think the rent was $365 a month. Mm-hmm. It was a former project housing that they had converted into apartments in Knoxville. And it was so tiny, had baseboard heat. We had you couldn't open the fridge and the cabinet door at the same time. They would bang into each other. That's how tiny it was. And we laugh about it now because we are no happier now than we were then. We were fine then. It was just like, we have so much more now and so much more to lose is part of it. But I'm saying like, we had nothing except each other. And you can look back and go, yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
And I hope we knew it then.
That's the thing. Did you think it was pretty great at the time?
I don't know. I don't know. I think
when I met you, you thought it was pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm I like to think that I'm somebody that can smell the roses. I do have senses of dread and doom and all those things that encroach on my psyche, but at the same time, I'm a pretty grateful person. I think so. Hope so.
Yeah, I think, again, that's a great question. That's why you need community, right? Because there are things about yourself you couldn't see, or even if you thought about it, you couldn't admit it. And even if you could admit it, you wouldn't be certain they were accurate, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have things outside of yourself. So I could say, yeah, I mean, I felt like, I don't know, it's like there's something about those seasons of life. And I don't mean this about having kids or having a job or having all those things. It's just that there's just less you're responsible for.
Yeah. And
there's more that's possible, right? Even if it doesn't all come, it still feels like a possibility. And I like my 30s and 40s better than my 20s. I really have enjoyed those more. But there is a feeling there, and it's probably a naive feeling, but we're on the adventure, and you're less concerned about what you have for security purposes, partially because, again, you have parents still bailing you out here and there or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start now, now everybody depends on me for this. When you get to, and that's good. And I was thinking when you said that too, that expression, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not true. If you love what you do, you're going to work really hard at it.
Yeah.
Some days you really don't like it, even if you still love it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's deep though. Yeah, I think, that's, and this guy studied mass. What did it say? What did he study?
Mass movements and fanaticism.
So he studied probably like people who were like Jonestown people too, that like they fell into cults because the pursuit of happiness made them go like, I'm going to quit my day to day and just go join this commune because maybe that'll make me fulfilled.
Yeah.
And like, who knows why people do that? Because I mean, you watch those documentaries and you go, how could people fall into this? And you think they must just be dummies. And then you watch enough of those and you go, nope, they're just, some of these were doctors, lawyers. They just, that sense of emptiness, you try to fill it with whatever, and it can be a trap, that chase for more.
Man, I think that is the fault line of our ideological and political divides. There's been a lot of studies about it. It's no longer north-south. I think there's still a racial component that's in there, but it's not complete across the board because there are people of multiple races on all sides of the equation. The real divide now is, and I'll use the terms that they would use or we would use, and that is it's the elite or the elitists versus the common sense people. And yes, it does touch on education and all, but I think you just nailed something. Like there's an assumption that however I evaluate someone as intelligent or unintelligent, it would dictate their culpability or their naivete in being able to be duped by something. And the truth is, I think being duped by something is not about intelligence. It's not. That's a myth. I think it helps, right? It's easier to dupe somebody who's not informed on something. But once you insult someone's intelligence and you say basically, well, I have this education, therefore I know more. Like, man, or someone else says, well, you think you have the education. I have a common sense school of hard knocks.
Just digging our heels and push.
And either one, what we don't want is someone downplaying our intelligence or our ability to show up in the world and understand things. And so therefore, I think it makes us more capable of falling into something we shouldn't fall into.
John, I would never, ever downplay your intelligence.
Well,
I don't think I need to. John, let's move on. Let's do my segments. Let's start with Johnny's old jokes. We call it Joke About That. John, let's celebrate the life and career today of one of the luminaries of comedy. One Julius Henry Groucho Marx. I don't know if you know a lot about Groucho. What do you know about Groucho when I say
Not
Groucho
a lot.
Marx?
I know, again, I hear the quotes.
Yeah.
But not a lot about the person.
So here's just a backstory, a little bit of me and Groucho. So I may have told it on the pod before, but when I was a kid, we got cable when I was like 11. And we had Nickelodeon was one of the first channels. And it was mostly kids programming, obviously, like it is today. But they didn't have enough kids programming. So like at night, when all the other channels would go to static, cable ran all day. But they didn't have the programming because they only had like 4 or 5 shows. So they would run these old products, these old shows that they got property of. And they were all 50s and 40s, black and white sitcoms or shows. And so it'd be like the Jack Benny Show, Burns and Allen, and say goodnight, Gracie. And then Gracie would say, good night, Gracie. I mean, so I grew up with that. So it really has informed some of my comedy to some degree. But one of those shows was called You Bet Your Life, and it was hosted by Groucho Marx. And it was a game show. And you'd say the word of the day accidentally, and a bird would come down, and it would be the secret word. And if it's ever said by somebody, they win money or they have a chance to answer. So it's a very silly.
Yeah.
But before that, he was a film actor, so I wanted to read a little bit of his history. Groucho Marx, born 1890. Through 1977, nice long life. American comedian, actor, writer, singer, who performed in films and vaudeville and television, radio, and the stage. He's considered one of America's greatest comedians. He made 13 feature films as a team with his brothers, who performed under the name of the Marx Brothers, of whom he was the third born. Successful solo career, primarily on radio and television, most notably the host of the game show You Bet Your Life. His distinctive appearance, this is what you probably know Groucho for, his distinctive appearance carried over from his days in vaudeville, including quirks such as an exaggerated stooped posture, spectacles, cigar, and a thick grease paint mustache and eyebrows. Groucho glasses, also known as Beaglepuss, I don't know why, are a humorous novelty disguise, so if you've ever seen the nose glasses, that's literally, you're putting on a Groucho face.
Wow.
In fact, it carries over into modern culture. I didn't know this, but there's an emoji based on the Groucho face.
Yeah, I've seen the emoji.
And it says you have to type in disguised face to get that to pop up. But it's the Groucho face over a yellow smiley emoji. But so anyway, so a few Groucho quotes and jokes for today's joke about that. I don't want to do the Groucho voice, but I could if I wanted to. Those are my principles, and if you don't like them, well, I have others. That's a good one. The secret of life is honesty and fair dealing. And if you can fake that, you've got it made. I never forget a face, but in your case, I'll be glad to make an exception. I've had a perfectly wonderful evening, but this wasn't it. I wish to be cremated. 1/10 of my ashes shall be given to my agent, as is written in our contract. There's one way to find out if a man is honest. Ask him. If he says yes, you know he's a crook. And then the final two are two of the most well-known Groucho quotes that you may know. One morning, I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got into my pajamas, I'll never know. And then this is my favorite one of all time. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. The great Groucho Marx today great. On Joke About That. Let's move forward. Let's do This Week in History, John. We call it Talk About Then. John, this week, 1961, the Berlin Wall began construction. East German communists began building a wall through the city to prevent the flow of people seeking the freedoms of the West. The wall cut off West Berlin from virtually all of surrounding East Germany and East Berlin until the government officials opened it in 1989. The wall fell. That was a big thing. It made me, you know what it made me think of? This is a really dumb thing, and it was like a little side quest for this week in history. But it made me think of David Hasselhoff. I don't know if you remember this, but David Hasselhoff was a big star, a singing star in Germany.
Yeah. Coming
off the heels of being a TV star on Knight Rider and other projects, but mostly Knight Rider, which kids Google it if you don't know Knight Rider. But it was a big deal when I was a kid. So Hasselhoff was this kind of, I'll say singer, entertainer. But, you know, some of these guys, they don't make it in the States, but they get huge overseas, and that's what happened. In Germany, he was like a god there. He could do no wrong, and he was selling out like big stadiums there and big arenas. And he had a song called Looking for Freedom, and he literally, I remember this video, he performed his hit song Looking for Freedom at the Wall on New Year's Eve 1989, shortly after its collapse. So he was one of the first people among the rubble filming like a project. And so because of that, the project kind of got more fanfare. This performance, where he sang from a crane above the crowd, became an iconic moment in the city's history. While he didn't cause the wall to fall, which I don't hope he didn't try to take credit for that. Many Germans view his performance as a symbol of hope and freedom during that time. Still, like in Germany, he's still he's a luminary there, I believe. Who knows? I mean, I'd have to ask some more Germans. But in June, this is another David Hasselhoff moment that made me think of that. In June 1994, David Hasselhoff was scheduled to perform a pay-per-view concert in Atlantic City, coinciding with his attempt to launch his singing career in the United States. So he's like, all this German fame, I'm going to be a crossover. Let's put a big pay-per-view. It's when pay-per-view was a big, thing. You could still, people pay $29 or whatever to watch your concert. So he spent all this money to try to do it. And it failed miserably, but not necessarily. There are different questions about why. Well, the event was overshadowed by the infamous O.J. Simpson car chase, which drew a massive audience and significantly impacted Hasselhoff's viewership. The concert was a financial loss, over $1.5 million loss, with Hasselhoff jokingly stating later that, quote, 90 million people watched OJ and 3 people watched me, including me and my mom and dad. So, yeah, I mean, you talk about bad timing.
Right.
You're like, I'm going to try to make myself, I'm going to try to make myself a star in the States. I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to get my agent on board. I had a video in Germany 5 years ago at the Fall of the Wall. We can do this. I'm a good singer.
Yeah.
And he puts this money out there, and then this thing you could not have predicted happened. The OJ Bronco chase.
It's like when the power team would show up when we were playing, Jonnie. It's just like that.
So when John and I were in a band, we would go to these places. They'd go, guys, we got 300 kids coming to be some youth group thing. We got 300 kids coming. It's going to be we've put out flyers.
It's going to be
huge. Youth explosion. We'd show up and he'd have this sunken, countenance. And you go, what's going on? He goes, I don't know, man. He goes, we're hoping 15, 20 show. He goes, the power team is across town at the other church. We didn't know it was going to be the same night. Well, the power team was this Christian group that would do stunts.
Right.
They would do feats of strength to show.
Break a 2x4 over their head.
Spend 20 minutes telling their testimony, and then they would tear a phone book in two or whatever.
Right.
And so that was always our lot, is that the power team would be in town.
It happened at least 3 times.
It did.
I mean, it seems statistically not possible.
Statistically? I remember at one point, I got on stage and tore a stack of napkins as my own
your own
power feat
of strength.
Yeah, and but if you're out there, power team,
hey, we hope it worked out for you.
We do, but you ruined.
Jonnie challenges you to a grudge match.
You ruined our life and career.
Yeah,
we were Fencepost Turtles.
War on the shore.
War on the shore. John, this week 1889, the modern coffee pot was patented. Hanson Goodrich patented the modern stovetop coffee pot. The reason it makes the list, it had a broad base for boiling, an upflow central tube, and a perforated basket hanging on it. And the reason I liked it, his design could transform any standard coffee pot into a stovetop percolator. Subsequent patents have added very little change to this design. I like that when somebody makes a design that's so good that even 100+ years later, you're like, he did it. He nailed it. He nailed the coffee pot, the percolator, whatever it does. I don't know what happens in the percolator because I'm not a coffee guy.
Percolator coffee is really, really strong, strong. And it's funny, like even when we first started the church, we have a few percolator pots in there, and it's like if you
it's what you drink when you got a construction project to do.
One of the senior events, they'll use the percolators.
It's like motor oil.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's some strong stuff. So it's very generational. It feels like.
Okay.
Like you don't go to a coffee shop and they're percolating coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Even if you get the brewed coffee, it's just brewed. It's not.
Interesting.
But yeah.
I like it. Here's another invention, John. This week, 1941, Ford unveiled the first plastic car. I didn't know about this. This is 1941. And it was a hemp-powered soybean car, the world's first plastic car. Obviously, we don't hear about it anymore, so it failed miserably. But I did some research on it. It was composed of steel tubular frame with plastic panels attached and ran on hemp fuel. I don't know where they came up with hemp fuel. The engineer who created it claimed the plastic panels were made from soybean fiber in some resin, although others say it was likely a combination of soy, hemp, wheat, and flax. The exact formula has been lost. One of the reasons Henry Ford was interested in developing this vehicle was the shortage of steel due to World War II. He also felt the car was safer than steel cars, and because it was 25... Now listen, it would be safer if all the cars were plastic.
Right.
But if you get hit by a steel car and you're driving a plastic car, it's not going to go good for you.
No.
He also felt the car was safer because it was 25% lighter and more fuel efficient. And then I found some Reddit posts about why this car failed. This is my favorite one. This was somebody who knew, I think, some more about it because he had some little notations. It said it smelled terrible. It said the smell never went away. It smelled like formaldehyde, evidently. The whatever compound it was, when it got hot, And he said, I saw one of the cars on display at the Henry Ford Museum, and it was kept behind glass for that reason. Literally, the smell was so strong, they had to encase it at the museum.
Wow.
And it was kept out of direct sunlight because the plastic was eventually destroyed by UV light. So you have a car that can't be outdoors. So it was kind of an ill-fated design from the get-go.
Yeah, plastic car.
That Henry Ford. But he's thought outside of the box.
He did. Now,
would you drive a soybean car? Probably not.
I would try to drive anything.
Give it a shot.
For once.
John, finally born this week in 1926 until his death in 2016, Fidel Castro. He was a Cuban president, and it had a note about him that the reason he makes the list, he was so opposed to capitalism that after conquering Cuba, he ordered the destruction of all monopoly games on the island. I did not know that about Castro.
Huh.
So he was so into Marxism, communism, that he was just like, I don't even want kids learning about Monopoly.
Wow. Which
made me think, like, what popular board game did you hate as a kid that was like a popular one, but you're like, I don't see the appeal of this game.
I love Monopoly.
To me, destroy Monopoly because it destroys families. I can see destroying every Monopoly board.
Did you play McDonald's Monopoly?
Oh, sure. When you tear
yeah.
Have you seen that documentary about the fraud that was perpetrated during the...
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's a great... I can't remember what the... McMillions, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's a great documentary.
Yeah, I don't know if I hated, like...
the normal suspects would be like life and...
Yeah.
You got to get... That's an interesting thing because it's the pursuit of happiness in that game. Like we're talking about. You got to get your little pink totem in the car with you, and now you have a wife, and then you get kids in the back of the car, and now you're going along. Now you get a raise at your job, and it's like all these steps were being trained to where if you get to a point in your life where you go, but I haven't gotten the raise yet. Well, sorry, you're failing at life.
Not having a good life. Yeah. Well, where's my podcast? That's not.
That's
you
put a little
later.
microphone in the little microphone totem in there instead of the wife, probably because she's left you.
Yeah. If you have a podcast stage, it's important. I mean, it made us happy.
Yeah, can't you tell? If you can't tell by listening to us, we're brimming with joy today, especially.
Teeming, if you will.
That's fine.
Inside.
I don't know. Well, John, how would you find out more about the podcast?
You go to talkaboutthatpodcast.com.
Click on the upper right-hand link if you want. That's how you support the show. We love our patrons, and you get ad-free content that way if you'd like it. Maybe you want to listen to the commercials, but if you don't, that's one way to do it.
I like the commercials.
Send us a note to a hello at talkaboutthatpodcast.com. That's how we hear back from you. We've heard from a few listeners. We even had somebody visit the church this week that's a long-time listener.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's like one of those, like, it turns into a real-life interaction. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
They had been to my show in Goshen.
Uh-huh.
Then they go, hey, we're coming through Nashville. Let's stop off and see John preach.
Yeah. Nice. And
they shout heretic and run out?
They came back into the office/studio for a minute.
Oh, that's cool.
And then...
got to see where the sausage is made.
Yeah, I got them an old Scarlet Thread CD.
Oh, how'd that go? Did they listen?
We've heard that they like it. They like Passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Which is track 2. Well, the family likes Passion, and the dad likes...
Toyota Van, the silly song. Yeah.
Silly
song.
They're so great. So nice. It was an awesome time.
Our ill-fated first tour van, which... was not made of soybean oil, but it may as well have been.
I was thinking
it burned oil, I'll tell you that.
My truck is broken down. I had it towed for the 3rd time today, and I was thinking, because they're both old Toyota engines.
Yeah.
Maybe a similar engine, I'm not sure. But I was thinking, though, how my air conditioning works so well, though, in that old truck, and how we had no air in that van, and we would drive to in the middle of rural Kentucky in the summer and stuff, how did we do that? Back to happiness. Much fun.
I don't remember those times as being hard. Fun. I just think that was just, we knew it was part of it. That's part of the thing. Like, I know there's a comic who not famously, but somebody was saying in his bio, it said he slept in his car.
Yeah.
And it's like, I knew that guy. He might have spent the night in his car like one night. But like, that's the kind of thing that you say in your bio to make it sound like you really love comedy.
Yeah,
like
you had a house. You went out of the driveway.
I lived in my car. That's how much I care about this job. That's just part of it, man. You're like, so like if anything, you tend to like overstate how hard things were.
Yeah.
Because it makes it more like you had a real experience.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, yeah, we just got a record deal first time out.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm really talented. Yeah.
No.
I've never said that.
That's not my story at all. No.
It's not. But Jonnie is really talented, actually. He spent a lot of time, guys. He's been working on it for a long time. You should go to JonnieW.com.
Sure.
Lots of tour dates. I mean, exciting tour dates.
There's no pressure, but if you want to, there are tickets available to most of these shows, and we would love to start selling some of those out so that I could pay a bill or two.
Yeah. If you care about Jonnie,
I don't want to live in my
happiness.
I don't want to live in my car.
No, maybe you come to a show.
Yeah, I have a hatchback. It's not roomy.
No, Jonnie's really tall.
It's a hybrid.
If you didn't know that, like he's embarrassingly tall, so he can't lay down in this car.
No, it's not going to work out.
Like an animal, like a really huge giraffe. Or something.
I'll have a bad back.
Yeah, it's not
Please
good.
help. Anyway, yeah, go to there and John. Learn more about John's books at Amazon.com. Just search for John Driver. Is Amazon a place people go, John?
I think it is.
Well, I'm saying you have your website too, but do you link to your books on Amazon? On your website, rather?
Yeah.
Well, then go to johndriver.com.
Yeah, it'll take you to my link tree.
There you go.
And they'll have some Amazon.
I wasn't trying to diminish what you do by saying Amazon. It's like that's the.
You should go to Google and find John G-O-O-G.
Yeah. Fill in the rest.
I have a website, but Johnnie,
it's a great website.
I'm not on your level. You know what I'm saying?
Don't even talk about levels, John.
I'm on a higher level.
Oh, okay.
And where I don't need those.
You don't need those.
I'm not searching for happiness like some people.
You gave up the search.
I've made peace with not being. I'm just kidding.
Give up the search, folks. Yeah.
Guys, we hope that the episode made you maybe a little bit happy today.
Okay.
You know, hey, it's not the condition of life, but you can have it for here and there.
Yeah, a fleeting moment that we maybe offered. Yeah. And now you'll step back into the darkness that surrounds you.
Yeah, go ahead and...
Sorry, I made it weird again.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Let's do it next week here on
Talk About That.